Alrighty, welcome to Wisdom Keys with myself, Brother Francis. This is an opportunity to be here every Thursday to share in some of the many things that I've learned over these past 47 years of delving into this path for myself, be it metaphysical or spiritual or otherwise. It is a great opportunity to come on and share the things that I have acquired over the years with all of you. Each Thursday, I'm here at 1 p.m. for about 30 minutes here on Resonant Essentials, the group. And of course, tomorrow at 12 noon p.m. Mountain Time, you should be watching Swanda. On on Mondays at 9 a.m., Whispering Truth from the UK with Audrey Wilson. On Tuesday at 12 p.m., we always have Donna of Dominion Tarot on Tuesdays. And then we have a little off day on Wednesday, and I'm back on Thursday, and then Friday again is Swanda. So this is a very interesting time that we live in with this quote-unquote pandemic, and how you feel about it is how you feel about it. So we all are still participating on the world stage with everything that has been going on in the past 20 or 30 years. So this is nothing new. Today's topic, and I have to look at my notes again, today's topic is how your heart unlocks your gift. How your heart unlocks your gift. So, let's talk about the heart. We have a physical heart that sits in the center of our chest behind our sternum. I like to call the sternum the shorter spine. And it's attached to our collarbone, and of course going all the way down with the tip of the sternum is right on top of the solar plexus area. And of course, we have the ribs that come from the sternum out and down. Okay? So that's where the physical heart sits. Then we have an energetic field known as the heart chakra. Chakra is a Sanskrit word, Sanskrit, Sanskrit, Sanskrit word that means disc, as in D-I-S-K, or wheel. And so it's an energetic disc or wheel of light that emanates from the heart. And all of the major organs in our body are part of the sympathetic nervous system, as the master yogis of ancient times would say, that these wheels of light known as chakras emanate from our physical organs and physical locations in the body. They actually emanate from the crown chakra, the brow center, the base of the throat, middle of the sternum, the heart chakra, the solar plexus, and then going into the sacral chakra or the lunar chakra just beneath the navel, and then the tailbone, which is the base or the root. Now there are other chakras as well. There are along the back of the neck, going down into from the base of the skull, going down into the center of the back, just beneath the shoulder blades, opposite with the physical heart. So we have these energy zones, and there are many others, minor zones throughout our body that can be measured off from our wrists into our elbows, from the heel of the foot up into the back of the knee, from the back of the knee all the way up the thigh. So these energy zones are there in various forms. They're like maps, energetic maps on the body. And so what happens is, what happens is that these energy zones um, allow us to act like filters, the energy zones like filters, and we are moving through and experiencing our life through all of these chakra zones. When I'm talking about how the heart unlocks the gifts in you, the gifts are basically things that you've always have had. We just might be unaware of these quote unquote gifts that we have. Gift is another word for presence. In other words, you feel like you're getting a present all the time at your birthday or your annual celebration. There's some type of present. But the present or gift is also talking about who we are evolving into in every moment of our life. So when I say that your heart unlocks your gifts, somewhere inside yourself, in that chamber, in that realm of consciousness, in the heart, is where we can experience compassion, understanding, as well as grace. And grace takes on many different meanings. Grace can be looked at as beauty and harmony. Grace can be looked at as the finer levels and rarer levels of intelligence spiritually. Grace is often thought of as being a divine intervention, a moment that takes place in our lives that gives us some type of blessing or some type of relief. And so I want to even mention that, I used to say this too when I was younger, and I used to hear a lot of the church elders say it. When someone would say, "Oh, mother or elder, so and so, how are you feeling this morning?" And that elder man or woman in the church would say, "I'm feeling blessed and highly favored." Well, as you go on through life, and life is a chain of existences and experiences that we have, there are some moments when that is not functioning. There are some moments when one is in the down, is in the valley, going through a rough time, a rough period in their life. That rough period can mean a divorce or a pending divorce one is about to go through. Someone has lost their job, especially a person who loses their job after being on a company for 10 and 20 years and all of a sudden, being let go without too much warning. Or there's an illness that overcomes an individual or the family. Or there's a missing person or a missing pet that you have in your household. Even the transition of a fur family member in the house. So for anyone, even when I used to say it, and now that I think about it, everybody is blessed and highly favored. See, we're thinking that, quote unquote, God is going to single out somebody and bless them. Well, we see the blessings happening at different times, different stages of our life, different things going on in our life. So we can barely even think that we're the only ones that got a blessing. No, everybody gets a blessing, which makes everybody favored within themselves. Most people, or most of the time when a person says, "I'm blessed and highly favored," they're putting it out there as though they're being chosen over everybody else. And that's not necessarily true. Because at some point, there's a cycle that you go through where you can't even say that. You can't even claim that. Some people will feel, "Oh, God has abandoned me. Oh, the angels have abandoned me." No, not the case. It's just that sometimes, some moments, we need to climb off the horse and sniff the grass, touch the grass, walk on the grass like everybody else. There is no such thing as someone is higher or someone is lower than you. That does not exist. But if you grow up in certain societies around the world, there's caste societies. In those caste societies, if you were born into a family that were farmers, you were seen as a farmer. That's all you're going to do. If you were born into a family where there were war heroes or soldiers or whatever, then that's what you were, man or woman. That's as far as you could get. If you were someone that was tilling the earth, that's all you could get. If you were someone that wound up being a doctor, a lawyer for your family, that's as far as you could get. If someone in your family was a minister, then you were expected to be in that particular caste, that particular class. And then in the Western world, the caste is a class. Financial. Are you in low income? Are you poverty stricken? If you grow up in a family that's poverty stricken, well, that's all anyone ever expects you to be, just to live in more poverty, or low income, or lower middle income, or middle income. See where this is going? Or lower upper income, or upper income, or off the charts. People expect, okay, you're born into these classes and you're supposed to just stay there. So what we're learning basically today, that's one of the lessons. There is no one on the planet, even though you might see a person of wealth. You might see know of a person of extreme wealth. Well, they got big problems that fit that wealth. You cannot say, oh, that person doesn't have any hurdles to climb. That person doesn't have any pressure. A lot of people who are wealthy behind closed doors, they're in tears as well. They're trying to figure out, how did I let myself get to this point where I'm disconnected from my family, my immediate family, and the family of my wife and my children? How did I get to this point where I'm mistreating everybody? How did I get to this point where I then live in two worlds? In the world, I'm somebody else. I'm this brave person, but behind closed doors, I'm the chicken-hearted. I'm the one who doesn't even have humility or self-love. So when we think about, or when I think about how our heart can unblock or unlock our gifts, it causes me to go deeper inside myself to explore what those gifts are. How do those gifts get there? Or if I can't see them right now, where are they? Or how do I acquire the gift? When we think of a gift, we think of it as being a particular talent or skill that comes easily to a person. We think of a gift as a talent or skill that easily comes to that person. We all have someone in our families that does something extremely better than we do. Or we might have a cluster of us in the family that excel in a particular area. How does our heart unlock a gift? Heart is the center of you. Your heart is where you can measure your self-worth. Just you. You realize you're not in competition with anybody else on the planet. So, think of it like a football team, or better yet, actors and actresses. People like Denzel Washington will tell you he doesn't focus on trying to be popular. He focuses on the craft of acting, and how he is playing out a specific character. Because he has to play that character just like anybody else, so the character becomes believable. When you see the character that he plays on screen, it makes you think about, do you know someone out here in the street, in your neck of the woods, that's just like the character he's portraying? Or when the late Chad Boseman did the Black Panther movie, it came to life to many people who followed the Marvel and Stan Lee comic books of the Black Panther. But when someone of the Asiatic community, melanated or whatever you want to use the term, in LA said, hey, I want to put this out there as a movie. And what we saw was many prominent actors and actresses and others we have not heard of before shine. And when we saw them shine, and they used this fictitious city in Africa called Wakanda, but they made it believable. You believe that that place actually existed and vibranium actually exists, because each character had a way of unlocking the gift of acting, inside their heart, which is inside of them. The French word for heart is le coeur, C-O-E-U-R, and the O and E look like they're joined together. Coeur. That word, that sound of that word in French, which means the heart, is in an English language word without using the letter E in the first four letters. And that word is called courage, which is interesting. Core and age. Two words make up the word courage. So that means the heart has aged with wisdom, and therefore would have the courage, the confidence to express itself. Your heart is like the earth. It has the same number of letters, earth and heart. Your heart is a place where you become like a farmer or a steward and tend to the soil, but the soil of your feelings, the soil of your consciousness. So we know, even if we are blessed and highly favored with gifts, we still have to exercise those gifts. We still have to practice those gifts. We have to carry those gifts forward with the mindset that the gift exists, we are familiar with the gift, and we have attained a certain degree to exercise the gift, to carry it out in life. So, when I say your heart is this place within you, within your consciousness, that is swimming in a sea of energetic gifts. Things that will bless not only the owner of the gift, but bless those that the owner can pass parts of that gift to. We might think of the word gift as purpose, as value. So the heart, you must have the heart not to be fearful, but to be courageous, or to have the wisdom within because age speaks of wisdom and maturity, have the wisdom within the heart to unlock the gifts, to see value in one's life. And not just your life, but the lives of other people? Can you see the value of the lives of other people? That's highly important. You're going to discover your own values. You're going to start weighing out your values that you have now and maybe against the values that you had a few years ago. In your heart, you are not one who is pretending to be someone different. In your heart, you are not pretending to be engaged in some form of competition when it comes to expressing your gifts. Your gifts give you purpose. I'll say that again. Your gifts give you purpose. So when you think about your heart unlocking the gifts, your heart is a treasure chest, and when you open the treasure chest, the treasures on the inside begin to what? Spill out. Which means there's so much there, you can't contain it anymore. You are brimming with gifts that there maybe you put limitations. I'll say myself, maybe I've placed limitations on those gifts. And in placing a limitation on a gift, then what? I intended that gift to only go but so far in my life. Your heart gives you the courage, gives you the spiritual maturity, the spiritual wisdom, the spiritual understanding to act as a key and unlock, which means to open up and let free your gifts. We have many gifts. I just named a few. Understanding, compassion, there's self-love, there's self-empowerment, there's self-improvement. All of these things are gifts within themselves that give you a purpose, or people might say, a reason for living. What kind of gift that you have that gives you a reason to live? What kind of gift have you acquired throughout your life that allows you to have a distinctive purpose different from the next person without being competitive? And how do you choose to value that gift? How important is that gift to you? So we have to begin to think now. If we have gifts, how can we present these gifts to the world? Well, the first world is self. Because you have to go through it and you have to get familiar with the gifts. You have to get familiar with your purpose or your reason to be. Raison d'etre. Raison d'etre is French. Reason to be. You have to discover what's your reasoning for being, who you are, and why. And how does that value affect your life? Does it change your life? Does it change your attitude? Does it clear you emotionally and mentally? Where you no longer worry, you no longer have any anxieties. It is in the seeking of who we are and the seeking of the values that we hold for ourselves. These moments when we are seeking and we are receiving and we are embracing, which means we are accepting, then we have this opportunity to impact ourselves first, our immediate surroundings second, then the broader community or the world beyond you. You might begin to say to yourself, I'm going to jot down 3 things that I can embrace, that give me purpose, that I know that will impact others, because I treasure the gift as a purpose in my life. See, that's another thing. Do you treasure? Do you understand that you are equally important in the world that you live in? Are you seeking to share that aspect of yourself with the world? Do you want the world to see who you are? Well, who's the first person that has to see who you are? That person is yourself. That self is yourself. Can you look in the mirror and convince yourself of your self-worth? Do you love every aspect of your appearance, externally as well as internally? Have you embraced yourself? There is a way, and I've talked about it before, the mirror technique, where you get up in the morning or any time of the day, stand before a mirror. Now, if you have one of those full-length mirrors, that's even better, because then you could check your posture. But if you don't, you just have a mirror that allows you to see at least from your waist up or from your chest up to the top of your head. Speak to yourself in the mirror. But how would you do that so that you know that what you're saying is making an impact in the world, in your surroundings? Well, you can get egocentric and go, well, I know I'm good. I know I'm handsome. I know I'm beautiful. I know I got the right figure. I know I'm intelligent. But would that really be a favorable thing to say, when you can simply say it as an affirmation and later as a decree? Where you can say, well, I affirm on this day that I am a beautiful person inside and out. I affirm on this day that I am healthier than I've ever been before. I affirm that on this day I am wiser than what I was the other day. And that's just 3 affirmations. Here's a 4th one. I affirm on this day that I am kind and helpful to others. When you use an affirmation is a statement of truth, and you know that it's a truth for you. That's why when you use affirmations, you affirm something that's already present in your life, that you know that it exists. You know that it emanates from you and it's a part of you. And as you get real good with the affirmation, then you could venture into something that you are seeking to acquire, but you put it in the present tense. I affirm that I got a new car now. Why? Because you have to use not only that intention, but the feeling of the intention, the feeling of seeing the car in your presence, in your garage, in your driveway, you sitting behind the wheel. But you are convinced that you have it. Even if you don't see it, your faith alone pulls it in. Faith is something that you know is true. That's what an affirmation is. If you were to say an affirmative prayer, you would say, I know that I am a part of the divine source, and that divine source dwells in me. Now, you just proclaimed an affirmative prayer, which allows you to expand your wings, and so on and so forth. You can state it as a decree. But you can do whatever you have the courage, the proper temperament, the proper mindset, the clear emotions. When you're saying it, you're saying that you are ready. So before I sign off with this topic today, how your heart unlocks your gift, let's do a small meditation so that we can help lock the teaching in, or that you can take the teaching and begin to sit with it. Sit up straight in your chair. Take a deep breath in through the nose and then out through the mouth. Do it again. One more time. And I want you to already know that within your heart are infinite pieces or elements or infinite realms of consciousness where you already see yourself with your gift, which is your purpose. Some people say your passion. And you know that the passion, the purpose, the gift dwells in your heart. And you know it has value. And you know as a key it unlocks every door for you, allowing you to have greater experiences in meeting more people who probably resonate with what you're saying. In other words, they carry the same frequency as you carry. And they become supportive. How does your heart unlock the gift? Well, once you know your value, once you know your value will give you purpose, once you know that there's plenty more out here, that the energy of truth, harmony, and happiness, the energies of faith and resilience and strength, the realms of consciousness where you are all that and more exists, that you can never fail and that you can never be without, all of that exists, then you could truly accept the presence of your gifts. I love grace. That's a gift. That's a present. That's a principle. That's a foundation that has impacted my life, has given my life value. Find out what are the things in your life that give you value or that strengthens the value that's working well for you now, that allows you to uncover and discover the gifts inside yourself which point to your destiny and your purpose. Take those moments today, a few times today, even before you go to sleep, but also when you wake up. Acknowledge that the gift is a destiny that gives you a purpose or a reason for being who you are or who you are evolving to. And when you can do that, rest assured that all shall be well. I'm Brother Francis E. Revels Bay. Thank you for watching Wisdom Keys, whether you were listening live today or you get a chance to replay it. I'll be back next week with another special topic, subtopic for Wisdom Keys. That will be on the 19th. Be sure you tune in tomorrow at 12 noon p.m. for Swanda. Be sure you tune in on Monday at 9 a.m. for Whispering Truths with Audrey Wilson, or Tuesdays at 9 p.m. with Donna of Dominion Tarot. Thank you. We'll be back next Thursday. And if you're in town in Albuquerque, not tomorrow, but Saturday, I plan on being there from 11:30 to at least 12:30 p.m. I'm there with my Creative Pathwork meditation series, where we're exploring white light meditation. Come on by. It's just a minimal fee of about $10 just for an hour, where you can sit and learn guided meditation and how I use guided meditation to lead me into silent meditation. Thank you. Have a pleasant day. Be good to yourself. My grace is your grace too. Until next time, remember that divine grace is a blessing as we are alive and well in the age of remembrance. See you soon.